Yo, Nick Wright, pre-workout in the kitchen, about to hit the gym, waiting for clothes to get out of the dryer, and then it's go time. So, in the meantime, I was checking out Facebook and all that, right? And obviously, we posted a funny picture of the three of us, myself and Olympus Iron, versus the pre-contest shredded crew, Matt Ogus, Chris Lavado, and Jeff Side. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. I posted it on Facebook. We basically mimicked the exact photo they did. Matt and Chris both being like a week out from a show. Jeff being equally shredded. And Olympus Iron and myself both being mid-off season. All of us training for strength right now during heavy bulks. So we just mimicked their exact poses, since Bobby from Olympus Iron looks exactly like Jeff. At least that's what everyone's been saying in the comments. It's like the same height, got the same jawline and everything. Nick obviously is the big tank of the crew, so he was Lavado, and then I'm just the YouTube manlet, so I took Matt's position, and we just mimicked the exact pose, and I posted it on NWB just as a joke. Well, you know, Team Fluff versus Team Aesthetics. So it was hilarious, and it got shared like crazy. Jeff shared it. Thank you, Jeff. I've never actually got to meet or speak to Jeff, but he shared it and tagged Nick Wright Bodybuilding in it, which was cool. Matt Ogus shared it on all his pages. So instantly it blew up, and feedback came rushing in. So I was following all that, right? And so many of the comments, I saw it reposted in different pages. So many of the comments were referencing the whole Team True Natties, referring to us, versus half natties, versus all them. And then so obviously, like, I understand the joke. People are coming home, so ignore the noise. But I am very curious as to is the fact that Matt Ogus has purchased regular, generic, over-the-counter liver supplements that you can get at like GNC and all that, is that the only thing that we're going by for these non-natty claims? I'm just curious. I'm very good friends with a lot of competitors who are on a ton of stuff. So I really couldn't care less who's natural and who's not natural. But I'm just very curious what the big obsession is about this lately. So basically everyone's been asking. I'll clear it up. I'll make this video short and sweet, and I'll end it with this. I wasn't going to make a video on this, but since I've had close to like 200 comments asking me what I think anytime the subject comes up, what I think about LOA being full natty, as far as I know, they are. And I haven't found any legitimate proof suggesting otherwise, other than that they look really, really good. That's about it. I can't remember off the top of my head what supplement he said it was, but I remember it being the same supplement my own mom used, actually. It was like, it's a really generic, basic, over-the-counter supplement, a natural supplement just for a healthy liver aid, and that to me isn't enough evidence, because I have friends that use heavy, and the precautions they invest in are much more serious, much more extreme than your basic GNC little bottle of whatever. I mean, I've taken that before, completely natural. Anybody can. Your liver puts in work overtime. Drinking, the big scare at one point was that creatine messed with your liver, and doctors were telling everybody to get on something for that. So it's like, getting a simple, cheap, over-the-counter liver supplement, to me, isn't proof of anything, because that's just smart. That's like taking joint supplements. It's something I think everybody could benefit from. Other than that, as far as anecdotal evidence goes, I mean, there's nothing that really suggests that. There's nothing I'm seeing, unless I'm missing something. I'm curious to hear your feedback. Again, I could care less who's natural and who's not, so I'm just answering the comments. I'm curious to see what your feedback is. As far as observing them, there's nothing that really screams unnatural to me. First off, let's break it down. There's no skin tones on them at all. I have friends that juice. You look at the back of their shoulders when they're doing like a fly or something like that. The back of their shoulder goes from red to almost like a purplish color. No matter how good your skin is, they always get that reddish, bruised look, especially in the back of their delts where androgen receptors are through the roof. Most of the time, you get some form of back acne going on there. If not, at least the skin tone changes. Matt and Chris have none of that going on that I can see. And I've met them in person. Keep that in mind. People can look jacked and crazy in video and photo. It's when you meet them in person that you get a very accurate look at them. So I'm basing this off of hanging out with them in person and seeing them in person. In contest shape, I didn't see any discolorations. I didn't see any sort of blemishes at all. I didn't see any skin tones. There's zero gyno on either one of them. So I have friends that have gyno, and in looking at the photos of Matt and Chris, both pre-contest, their chests have zero gyno going on. There's no abnormal androgenic response going on in the key areas like the delts, the traps, the upper chest. They have great delts. Matt does have amazing delts. His delts do pop, all right? He definitely has the delts of a half natty, but if you look at his old photos, again, I've known him personally a long time. Personally, you look at his old photos, he doesn't, I mean, he's always had delts. Just like I've always had bicep peaks, he's always had delts. And there's no discoloration there, so that still doesn't really prove it to me. The upper chests are obviously great, but no better than just somebody who has good genetics and trains well. It's not popping. Traps are solid on Lavado, but I have good traps too. I mean, that doesn't mean... Again, there's nothing that stands out to me as unnatural. Nothing screams unnatural. I see great genetics. So yeah, that's it. The only thing I can see possibly would be like extreme diuretics maybe, but then you think about the fact that Matt has been dieting for like half a freaking year at this point. So if he's going to be on like T3, T4 clen and all that good stuff, he really wouldn't need to be doing like a full year's worth of contest prep. He'd be able to get shredded in a much shorter amount of time than that. So the fact that he's been doing this diet for such a long time kind of makes me cancel that one out too. So everyone's been asking. Here's Nick Wright's opinion on it. I'm not naive. They look amazing. If it were to come out that Matt and Chris are not natural, like say they admitted it or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They look good. They definitely don't look like they're on anything heavy. It looks like a very, very, very basic, light stack of anything, if they were to come out and admit it. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not naive. They do look great. On the other hand, until they admit something like that, I see zero proof. Louis Marco's example doesn't hold any water in my opinion. I see zero proof that they're unnatural, and their body, their physique does not scream unnatural to me in any major way. So as far as I can tell, I mean, it could go either way, but if they're claiming natural, I mean, there's really nothing to argue against that so far. They have great genetics. And if you look at them next to me, like in person, size-wise, they're definitely the size of naturals as well. So that's my opinion on Matt and Chris. I don't know Jeff at all. I've never met him, never interacted with him. Obviously, I know who he is. He looks great. He's done well in the industry, and I've seen some of his stuff online, which is awesome. I just recently got onto his Facebook page, but I haven't followed him, so I know nothing about him. I can't comment on him. But as far as Matt and Chris go, I gotta say, I can't see them being... They look good enough to be unnatty. If they admitted it, it wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's like there's nothing that really incriminates them, in my opinion. From somebody who's actually like experienced and has friends that cycle and like knows what the real deal is on cycling. So that's my opinion. You guys asked, I answered. Subscribe now.